Alright, guys and gals, here recording for everybody, as today I'm going to be giving everybody my thoughts and opinions on what happened this past weekend, this past Sunday night at Backlash 2018. We are now officially on the road to Money in the Bank, which is going to be taking place next month, June 17th, 2018, in Chicago, Illinois. We'll also have an NXT TakeOver event that same weekend, the night before, also in Chicago. NXT TakeOver Chicago 2. Last year they had NXT TakeOver Chicago the night before Backlash last year. Now this year, the night before Money in the Bank. But today I'm going to be reviewing and giving everybody my thoughts and opinions on what happened at Backlash 2018. That took place this past Sunday. I was on Periscope Live giving you my live reaction, so if you tuned in, thank you for tuning in. The next time I'll be on Periscope will be on June the 16th and the 17th for NXT TakeOver Chicago 2 and Money in the Bank 2018, so be sure to tune in on Periscope. If you don't have the Periscope app, go download it so you can be sure to tune in the next time I am on Periscope. I will be on Periscope at this time. I'm planning on being on Periscope as well for Extreme Rules in July and NXT TakeOver Brooklyn 4 and SummerSlam in August. And then, football season will be here by then as well. So then at that point in time, I will be on Periscope as well for college and NFL football games. So stay tuned for announcements for that. It's only May. Summer's just a couple weeks away. It's finally feeling like summer in most parts of the country in the United States. But Backlash this past Sunday was an alright show. As I said, I was on Periscope giving you my live reactions. I know a lot of people didn't like how do I want to word it? How they planned out the event, because you had a match between Roman Reigns and Samoa Joe that, it is main event worthy, but you also have a match between AJ Styles and Shinsuke Nakamura for the third time in the past month for the WWE Championship. And going into the pay-per-view, I think everybody was expecting that WWE Championship rematch to be the main event of Backlash this year. But it was the third to last match, because then we had that tag team match with Braun Strowman and Bobby Lashley going up against Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, then the main event between Roman Reigns and Samoa Joe. I thought the pay-per-view was alright, as I said. I know a lot of people really didn't like it just because, everybody doesn't like Roman. I get that. There are some people out there that do, and I've said it before, I'll say it again, but I thought Backlash was alright. I didn't think it was terrible. I didn't think it was great, though, at the same time. There's been worse pay-per-views out there. If you have the WWE Network, feel free to go search them. There's going to be worse ones, in the future as well. Hopefully not, but I know there will be. It's just a matter of when. But in the end, Backlash I thought was alright. It kicked off. There was a match on the kickoff show. Ruby Riott and Bayley went at it. Match was a little bit over 10 minutes. The best women's match of the night. There's 3 women's matches. The other 2 were for the Raw and SmackDown Live women's, respectively. Nia Jax and Alexa Bliss for the Raw Championship, and Charlotte and Carmella in a rematch for the SmackDown Live Women's Championship, both from WrestleMania 34. So Ruby, she's the leader of the Riot Squad, obviously. In my opinion, she's probably the best member of the Riot Squad. Normally in factions, there's, somebody that does stick out from the other members. And I think hopefully they give her, somewhat of a push here in the near future. But, we'll have to see about that. But Ruby Riott defeated Bayley on the kickoff show, and then to kick off the main card for Backlash 2018, Seth frickin' Rollins and The Miz had a great match. These two faced off in that triple threat Also had Finn Balor involved at WrestleMania 34, and then these two as well, Seth Rollins and The Miz, that is, faced off in that Fatal 4-Way ladder match at the Greatest Royal Rumble that also had Finn Balor and Samoa Joe involved. But now this was an actual singles match. The Miz was getting his rematch from WrestleMania 34 because he defended the title at WrestleMania 34, lost it in a triple threat, was pinned by Seth Rollins, and was pinned again this past Sunday night at Backlash 2018. So Seth Rollins retained the Intercontinental Championship, his Intercontinental Championship now, and defeated The Miz for the third time in the past month. The Miz is on SmackDown now after the Superstar Shakeup. We went through a period of time there from WrestleMania 34 up until Backlash, where we saw WrestleMania 34, we saw the Superstar Shakeup, we saw the Greatest Royal Rumble, and then we just saw Backlash this past Sunday. A lot was going on in the WWE. It was complicated at some times. It was, confusing at some points along the road as well. Just because, they could do this, they could do that. But in the end, Vince is obviously going to get the final say because he owns the damn company. But what they decided to do is have Seth Rollins become Intercontinental Champion, and I think he's going to be holding that title for a while. Miz is on SmackDown, as I said, after the Superstar Shakeup. And he is now in the Money in the Bank ladder match next month at Money in the Bank. I had thought they should, after with all this talent and after the Superstar Shakeup for the second consecutive year, to have two men's ladder matches at Money in the Bank. One for Raw and one for SmackDown. They did change it up, though, a little bit this year, and I am all right with it. They changed the men's ladder match. They're only still going to have one, so I'm like, all right, but they changed the number of competitors from 6 to 8. So there's going to be 8 superstars in the men's Money in the Bank ladder match next month at Money in the Bank. The women are also going to have a ladder match for the second consecutive year, the second time ever. Last year, the first time they ever did that, Carmella won, and then she just cashed in right after WrestleMania. So that's with the storyline right now with Carmella and Charlotte. Charlotte just got her rematch here at Backlash. I'll get to that here in a minute, but The Miz is in the Money in the Bank ladder match now at Money in the Bank, and I had said on Periscope, if you tuned in on Periscope on Sunday, he was one of my favorites to potentially be in the Money in the Bank ladder match and win the Money in the Bank briefcase, because right now over on SmackDown, with the Intercontinental Championship not being on SmackDown, with it being on Raw with Seth Rollins holding the title at the moment, with AJ Styles and Shinsuke Nakamura going back and forth for the WWE Championship, and then Jeff Hardy holding the United States Championship. Yeah, they could put Miz in the United States Championship picture, but I think it'd be best, and I think Miz is probably my favorite right now to win the Money in the Bank, just because he doesn't have anything to do on SmackDown. You have him win the Money in the Bank, you still have him out there to go do Miz TV, have him, and hell, he's won the Money in the Bank briefcase before, and he's cashed in and won the WWE Championship on Randy Orton back in 2010. So he knows, how the Money in the Bank works. And I think it'd be best you have him win it, you give him something to do on SmackDown. Still be able to do Miz TV, still be able to have great matches up until whenever he decides to cash in. But Seth Rollins defeated The Miz. The Miz is in the Money in the Bank ladder match next month. Braun Strowman and Finn Balor from Raw are also in the Money in the Bank ladder match next month at Money in the Bank. I'll throw that in there before I forget. And then Rusev defeated Daniel Bryan on SmackDown this past week as well. So the four of the 8 superstars in the Money in the Bank ladder match have been confirmed. Braun Strowman, Finn Balor, The Miz, and Rusev. We still got 4 more superstars to be announced. We still have a little over a month left, though, before Money in the Bank. So WWE they can take their good old time with having these qualifying matches on both Raw and SmackDown every week, and then letting it all play out up until Money in the Bank 2018, as I said, which is on June the 17th in Chicago, Illinois. As I said, they're going to have a women's ladder match for the Money in the Bank as well. There's been rumors there's going to be a third one, potentially for a tag team. I would love to see that. It'd be the first time ever that the WWE would be doing that. I was reading, or I was watching, listening to something within the past 48 hours, 72 hours, from Backlash, and somebody had said, well, maybe about a cruiserweight ladder match for the Money in the Bank, and then have 205 Live, become relevant again. I don't even know if it was relevant to begin with, but I wouldn't mind seeing that as well. It'd make you want to tune in to 205 Live every week on the WWE Network after SmackDown on Tuesday nights, just to see whoever is the Money in the Bank winner for the cruiserweights, if they do have a third one and it's for the cruiserweights, to see if they'd cash in at some point in some time. But I doubt they'll do it for the cruiserweights. I would really like to see it though for the tag team. But as I said a minute ago, I would like to see them have three, one women's and then one for Raw and SmackDown, respectively, for the men. But it doesn't look like that because, as I said, they switched it from 6 to 8 superstars, and Braun Strowman, Finn Balor, The Miz, and Rusev are 4 of the 8 competitors in the Money in the Bank ladder match next month at Money in the Bank. Moving on now. I know I rambled on there a little bit about Money in the Bank, but that's the next pay-per-view. I got to get it all in here in this video, as this will be the last video before I preview Money in the Bank next month. As I said, I'll also be on Periscope for NXT TakeOver Chicago 2 and Money in the Bank next month. So if you don't have Periscope, go download the app, and then you'll see down in the description below the link to give me a follow on Periscope. Links to every other social media site are also down in the description below: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and be sure to subscribe right here on YouTube. Watching the Pirate game, the Pirates have just gone back-to-back with home runs. They're still down, though, on the Chicago White Sox by a score of 4-2 now, but they've gone back-to-back with home runs with Jordy Mercer and Gregory Polanco. So be sure to go like, follow, and subscribe on all social media. Links are down in the description below. The next match then was Nia Jax and Alexa Bliss in one of the rematches for one of the women's championships. The former champion Alexa Bliss lost her title at WrestleMania. Then they wrote her off out of storyline there for a little bit. As I said, it's been a month since WrestleMania 34. She had then got breast implants, breast enhancement surgery. She really didn't need them to begin with, but she wants to look hotter, and so be it. But this was actually her first match since WrestleMania 34. She did have some promos. The Moment of Bliss, I believe I said last week, I couldn't remember at the time when I was recording, filming, what those promos were called, but it was Moment of Bliss. So excuse me for that. She did cut promo. She was out by the ring in those tag team and singles matches that they had for the women, but this was her first match back since WrestleMania 34, and since she got the breast implants done. But Nia Jax still came out on top in this match this past weekend at Backlash. Nia, I think, is going to be holding the title for a while. I wouldn't be surprised if she holds it the whole way until the end of the year of 2018, or potentially the whole way till WrestleMania 35 next year. And I get it. I get why they're trying to do this with Nia Jax. They're trying to prove a point about women, that they can do, anything that they want to, and I'm totally fine with that. It is good though. It is it. If I can talk, it is good too. For the women, that they change the titles. They change the champions up every once in a while. So I'm not really mad that Nia is the Raw Women's Champion, and that she, just successfully defended her title this past weekend at Backlash against Alexa Bliss. But we'll have to see what they do with her moving forward, though, because I really don't know who would they have go up against her for the Raw Women's Championship here in the near future. But Nia Jax defeated Alexa Bliss at Backlash this past Sunday. The next match then was Jeff Hardy and Randy Orton for the United States Championship. At WrestleMania 34, Jeff Hardy was still on the shelf. He returned the night after, or the week after, excuse me, during the Superstar Shakeup. Randy had lost the United States title to Jinder Mahal. Jinder came over to Raw in the Superstar Shakeup from SmackDown. Then Jeff Hardy comes out. They have a match on Raw. Jeff Hardy becomes the United States Champion. Then on Raw, defeated Jinder Mahal. And then the next night on SmackDown, also still during the Superstar Shakeup, Jeff Hardy went to SmackDown. So the United States title goes back to SmackDown, and they keep the IC title on Raw. That's why I said it was a little confusing at some points with what they're going to do with the mid-card titles, if they're going to have them both on the one show, which they would never be able to do because you don't have enough time. But as I said, they decided to keep the IC title on Raw and the US title on SmackDown. But Randy Orton was, I can't remember if he got pinned at WrestleMania 34. Let me know down in the comments below if you remember. But it was a fatal four-way: Jinder, Randy, Rusev, and Bobby Roode for the US title at WrestleMania. Jinder won. Long story short, Jeff Hardy, Randy Orton was getting his rematch at Backlash. Jeff Hardy, the United States Champion now, defended it and retained. So Jeff Hardy just successfully retained his United States Championship for the second time. He defeated Jinder Mahal, who got his rematch at the Greatest Royal Rumble event about a week and a half ago. Also during Backlash, they put a segment in between this United States Championship match and then the following match between Daniel Bryan and Big Cass. Elias is way over. We all know what WWE stands for. It stands for Walk with Elias. If you think WWE stands for World Wrestling Entertainment, you got another thing coming. But they put this segment in. It wasn't planned. It wasn't announced. And, it did make Backlash go till about 11:30 Eastern Time on the United States. So I went over a little bit, but, there's nothing really wrong with that. But Elias, he was singing. New Day then came out. And then Rusev Day came out. Rusev and Aiden English, they'll probably be breaking up here soon. As I said, Rusev is in the Money in the Bank ladder match next month at Money in the Bank. And then No Way Jose came out with Titus Worldwide, so Titus O'Neil, who tripped and fell at the Greatest Royal Rumble. If you did not see it, go up to the search bar after you're done watching this video, type it in, and you'll be laughing your ass off for the next probably the rest of your life, because it's probably one of the funniest moments of all time, just not in WWE. But Titus Worldwide came out, so Titus O'Neil, Apollo Crews, and Dana Brooke were out there in the conga line with No Way Jose, and then the Fashion Police, Breezango, Tyler Breeze, and Fandango were out there as well. And then Bobby Roode's music hit because Elias was trying to get things moving. He was trying to sing his damn song, and then he ended up singing his song that he did not have the chance to sing during the segment on the post show. Not talking smack. It was the Backlash post show. So if you watch that, it did turn out well. But Bobby Roode's music hit. They're in a feud with each other right now. Bobby Roode, he came from out of the crowd. He was standing behind Elias, and then he gave him a glorious DDT. and that segment was over. Everybody's dancing except for Elias. Rusev, I don't think, was dancing either, but Rusev, he really doesn't give a shit anyway. But they plugged that segment in. I thought it was a great segment. It was funny. If you go back and watch me giving you my live reactions on Periscope, as I said, the links are down in the description below. You'll see my live reaction for that. Then the next match, as I said, was Daniel Bryan and Big Cass. Daniel Bryan made Big Cass tap out to the yes lock in a little under 10 minutes. These two, I don't know how much longer they'll be going at it. Pirates almost hit another home run in the 6th inning, but now the 6th inning is over. Anyways, I don't know how much longer they'll be feuding, but after the match, Big Cass did beat down Daniel Bryan. And then Big Cass wasn't even on SmackDown this past week. Daniel Bryan was. He cut a backstage interview. I don't know what happened dark match-wise, if either one of them were a part of that. But Daniel Bryan defeated Big Cass at Backlash. Carmella then successfully defended her SmackDown Live Women's Championship against Charlotte Flair in that rematch from WrestleMania 34 as well. It looked like Charlotte really hurt her knee, but in the end, she was just selling it real good storyline-wise. She's supposed to be hurt. Storyline-wise as well, on the Raw side for the women, Alyssa's supposed to be hurt with a shoulder injury. She's totally fine now. She's not hurt at all. The next match then was that no disqualification match, the third match in the past month between AJ Styles and Shinsuke Nakamura for the WWE Championship. First match, AJ won clean, and then Nakamura turned heel, hit him with a low blow. Hasn't given up since. He's been hitting AJ Styles with low blows ever since. My new name for Shinsuke Nakamura is Nutcracker Nakamura. I really don't give a shit what you think about that, but that's my new nickname for Shinsuke. Shinsuke as a heel is 10 times better as Shinsuke as a face. If you want to argue with me about that, I could really care less what you think about that as well. But then they had another match at the Greatest Royal Rumble event. Ended in a double countout, so he retained. And then they had another match here at Backlash. No disqualification this time. But then they both kicked each other in the nuts and fell down and could not answer the ref's 10 call. So AJ Styles still retained the WWE Championship. They were both... You're looking at pictures as well through this video. By the way, before I forget, I do not own any pictures in this video other than the across the goal line picture, so I just want to make that clear. I do not own any other pictures in this video except for the across the goal line picture. But you've probably seen the picture. They kicked each other, and that's what I said, and then they're both laying on the mat in the middle of the ring and could not answer the ref's 10 call. So, as I said, AJ retained. I think they'll have another match at Money in the Bank. They could keep this going the whole way till SummerSlam. I wouldn't mind that. I've said before, I wouldn't mind them having this going the whole way till WrestleMania 35 next year. I think if you do want it to go the whole way to WrestleMania 35 though, and you have somebody from SmackDown win the Money in the Bank, you have this go until SummerSlam. You have, say, The Miz or Rusev from SmackDown who are in the Money in the Bank ladder match, cash in and win, have them be WWE Champion for a little bit, and then you have this storyline pick back up right before the Royal Rumble or at the Royal Rumble, and then have it go the whole way till WrestleMania 35 next year between AJ Styles and Shinsuke Nakamura. But if they do have a match at Money in the Bank or at SummerSlam or even at Extreme Rules in Pittsburgh in the middle of July, you got to have the next match be a last man standing match, because the next match would be the fourth match in the past 2 months at that point. Then pay-per-view wise, they've had encounters on SmackDown Live ever since. But AJ won clean at WrestleMania, double count on the Greatest Royal Rumble, and then they both couldn't answer the rest 10 count at Backlash. So I think the next match has to be a last man standing, and you got to get a clear winner. If they have AJ win that as well, you got to, really decide on what you want to do with Shinsuke. I thought Shinsuke was going to win at WrestleMania. He didn't, so that's why I had AJ winning at the Greatest Royal Rumble. I didn't think they'd have Shinsuke win on foreign soil. Then I picked Shinsuke again at Backlash, and he didn't win. AJ retained, but you really got to decide on what you're going to do here with Shinsuke Nakamura really soon, because if he's not going to be winning the WWE Championship, what are you going to have him do? He's probably just going to be jobbing at that point then, and you might as well just release him. Let him go back to Japan. Let him be the superstar that he is. But we'll have to see. The next match then, Braun Strowman and Bobby Lashley defeated Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn in a tag team match. Braun, it looks now for Money in the Bank, Brock Lesnar is not going to be defending the Universal Championship. So they inserted Braun Strowman into the Money in the Bank ladder match. As I said, Braun and Finn Balor are in the Money in the Bank ladder match for Raw, and The Miz and Rusev are part of that for SmackDown at the moment. They still got 4 more superstars to announce. They'll have qualifying matches in the weeks to come, but other than Roman, Braun has to be the top guy on Raw. There's no question about it. I mean, if they think Roman is the top guy, and I know they do because they've been pushing him for 3 years to be the top guy, yet there's a lot of people out there that don't like him. There are some, as I said, but he's still one of the top merchandise sellers. And with that, I understand he doesn't cut some good promos all the time, but Roman can wrestle. It's just the fans don't like him, plain and simple. So now Vince and the WWE are trying to do the storyline where, he's getting screwed over by everybody backstage, and they're not letting him win. Well, he just beat Samoa Joe, and what does that do for Samoa Joe? Not a whole damn lot, because he lost the Fatal 4-Way ladder match at the Greatest Royal Rumble, and then he just lost to lost to Roman Reigns, and then I think Samoa Joe would be a good option for the Money in the Bank, so maybe have him win that, and rev his career back up on the main roster. He's been injured a lot since he's come up. Now he's on SmackDown. He has a great opportunity on SmackDown Live at the moment. But Braun, if things don't go well with Roman, and they decide to change the future, Braun Strowman, other than Seth Rollins as well on Raw, but he's holding the Intercontinental Championship at the moment. Other than Roman, Braun has to be the top guy. You got to give him the Universal Championship. Maybe you have him get the Money in the Bank briefcase as well, and then cash in on Roman after Roman defeats Brock, because I think Braun would get way more over. I think Braun should defeat Brock if Brock's going to leave, because no one likes Roman. There are people out there that do, though, as I said. But I think it'd be better. I think Braun would get way more over if Roman defeated Brock whenever. Who knows when, just because of Brock's schedule. You have Roman defeat Brock, you have Braun win the Money in the Bank, and then you have Brock cash in on Roman. Everybody would go nuts, mark my words. We'll have to see what they do, though. But Braun Strowman, Bobby Lashley, really a match I really didn't care about, even though I like Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. Kevin Owens, I thought, should have been in the Money in the Bank ladder match as well, but he lost that qualifying match to Braun Strowman. Maybe in the weeks to come, they have a couple more spots open. Kevin Owens gets inserted, but I thought on Sunday, I wrote down some names before I went live on Periscope who I think could potentially win Money in the Bank. I had Kevin Owens in there. I had Finn Balor, Rusev, and The Miz, who are in the match. I thought Braun was going to be facing Brock at Money in the Bank for the Universal Championship. That's obviously not going to happen, though, at the moment. Bobby Roode, though, potentially could be in it. Kevin Owens still could. Maybe Randy Orton. Maybe Elias. I also have down Dean Ambrose because he's scheduled, he's been cleared to return. So we'll have to see what they decide to do with him. The Miz, he's won it before. Dean Ambrose has won it before. So we'll have to see. But then the last match, the main event then, was Roman Reigns and Samoa Joe. Match was about 15-20 minutes long. In the end, Reigns did win. Match was iffy. It wasn't great. It wasn't really bad though either. As I said at the beginning of this, a lot of people thought Backlash was horrible, the worst pay-per-view of all time. There's been worse, believe me, and there's going to be probably worse ones than this in the future as well. Hopefully not, as I said, but Roman Reigns defeated Samoa Joe at Backlash this past Sunday. Roman is still obviously the top guy then. He's probably going to get another match between him and Brock Lesnar. Like I said, when, who knows? But, in the end, I don't think it's going to work, for Roman at the moment. Because the thing is, no one really likes him. Plain and simple. And you have him become Universal Champion. Whether you want to have him hold the title for a while, at some point you're going to have to take the title off of him and put it on either Braun or Seth Rollins. Maybe this is when they bring Dean back into the fold, coming back from injury. If you have Roman become Universal Champion. By the way, Roman's going to be in a feud with Jinder Mahal for, probably the next month, 2 months maybe. Who knows? Lesnar might not even wrestle till SummerSlam now, so we're going to have all summer. Roman's going to have to be, in a feud with somebody, and, right now it's going to be Jinder. It might take all summer, but then you might have to bring Dean back. Might have to put Roman in the IC title picture against, another former member of the Shield, Seth Rollins. If you have Roman do win the Universal Championship, you have Dean maybe get the IC title off of Rollins, have Reigns Rollins in. But at some point, you got to have a Reigns-Strowman match. You got to have Strowman be the Universal Champion within the next year. If you don't have Strowman be the Universal Champion within the next year, there's something seriously wrong. Something seriously wrong. But that was Backlash. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below about Backlash. As I said, I'll be on Periscope June 16th and 17th next month for WWE NXT TakeOver Chicago 2 and WWE Money in the Bank, as we are officially on the road to Money in the motherfucking Bank. Be sure to like, follow, and subscribe to all social media. Links are down in the comments, or in the description below, excuse me. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and subscribe right here on YouTube. As I said as well, this will be the last video for me until I preview WWE NXT TakeOver Chicago 2 and Money in the Bank next month. So if you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. Be sure to like it, share it on all social media as well. Trying to think what else I got to plug here. Not really anything else. I think I got it all in. But that was Backlash, as I said. Let me know down in the comments below what you thought of it. And I guess I'll see everybody later.